Chapter 6. The Witch's Attack. The acrid stench of smoke and blood assaults my senses as I stand frozen, surveying the carnage before me. Broken bodies litter the forest floor, their once vibrant forms now mere husks. My heart thunders in my chest, each beat a painful reminder that I yet live while others have fallen. Ezra's powerful form moves with deadly grace as he kneels beside one of our fallen brethren. His golden eyes, usually so warm when they gaze upon me, are now chips of amber ice as he examines the wounds with grim expertise. "Dark magic," he growls, his voice low and dangerous. "These aren't natural injuries." I shudder, remembering the suffocating oppression of my uncle's cruel reign. "Could it be the witches?" I whisper, fear clawing at my throat. Ezra's eyes meet mine, a storm of emotions swirling in their depths. For a moment I catch a glimpse of the burden he carries, centuries of solitude, the weight of leadership, and now this new threat. "It's possible," he replies, his tone measured, "but we can't jump to conclusions. We need more evidence." I nod, frustration bubbling within me. My newfound powers, still raw and untamed, itch beneath my skin. I long to unleash them, to hunt down those responsible for this atrocity, but I know I'm not ready. The risk is too great. Ezra rises, his massive frame casting long shadows in the fading light. "Amara," he says softly, his voice a caress that sends shivers down my spine. "I need you to stay here, help tend to the wounded. I'll lead a scouting party to track the attackers." Part of me wants to protest, to demand that I join him, but I see the wisdom in his words, the unspoken plea for me to remain safe. I swallow my pride and nod. As Ezra turns to leave, I catch his arm. "Be careful," I whisper, my voice thick with emotion. "Come back to me." For a brief moment, the mask of the Alpha slips, and I see my mate, vulnerable, loving, afraid. He presses his forehead to mine, a gesture of intimacy that speaks volumes. "Always," he breathes, before stepping away and disappearing into the shadows of our ravaged home. I watch him go, my heart heavy with foreboding. The scent of death lingers in the air, a grim reminder of the darkness that threatens to consume us all. I turn away from Ezra's retreating form, my senses already attuned to our surroundings. The forest whispers secrets, and I am determined to listen. "There," I murmur, crouching beside a broken branch. Its jagged edge glistens with an otherworldly sheen. "Ezra, do you smell that?" He's at my side in an instant, his presence both comforting and electrifying. "Witch's magic," he growls, his golden eyes narrowing. I run my fingers along the branch, a tingling sensation prickling my skin. It's different, darker than before. "What else do you sense, Amara?" Ezra's voice is low, encouraging. I close my eyes, inhaling deeply. The scent of pine and earth mingles with something wrong. "There's a trail," I whisper, my words barely audible, faint but unmistakable. Ezra nods, his jaw set. Then we follow it. We move through the forest like wraiths, our footsteps silent on the damp earth. The trees loom overhead, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers. I can't shake the feeling that we're being watched. "Ezra," I breathe, my voice catching. "I'm afraid." He pauses, turning to me. In the dim light, his eyes glow with an otherworldly intensity. "Fear keeps us alive, Amara, but it doesn't control us." I nod, drawing strength from his words and his nearness. As we delve deeper into the shadowy heart of the forest, I can't help but wonder what horrors await us in the darkness ahead. The trees part abruptly, revealing a moonlit clearing that makes my blood run cold. Etched into the earth, pulsing with an eerie violet light, are symbols I've never seen before. Their very presence seems to twist the air around them, a malevolent force that makes my skin crawl. "Ezra," I whisper, my voice trembling, "what is this?" He doesn't answer immediately. His golden eyes, usually so warm when they look at me, are hard as flint as they scan the clearing. I shudder, feeling the weight of centuries in his gaze. Dark magic, he finally says, his voice low and rough. Ancient. Powerful. I take a hesitant step forward, drawn by a morbid curiosity. The symbols seem to writhe under my gaze, pulsing in time with my rapid heartbeat. It feels alive. Ezra's hand on my arm stops me. Don't get too close, he warns. These symbols are more than just markings. They're a conduit for a curse that's plagued our pack for generations. I turn to him shocked. A curse? But how? It's my burden, Amara, he interrupts, his voice heavy with a pain I can't fully comprehend. A price I've paid for centuries. The anguish in his eyes breaks my heart. I want to reach out, to comfort him, but something holds me back. There's more to this story, I realize, more darkness than I'd ever imagined. Tell me, I plead softly, even as part of me dreads the answer. Ezra's gaze turns distant, lost in memories I can't see. It began long ago, he starts, his words carrying the weight of years, with a choice I made, a choice that damned us all. As he speaks, the symbols pulse brighter, as if feeding off his pain, and I realize with a chill that goes bone deep that we've stumbled upon something far more sinister than a simple attack on our pack. This is where it all began, and where it might all end. I listen, transfixed, as Ezra's tale unfolds. Each word feels like a dagger, piercing the veil of mystery that's shrouded him for so long. My mind races, piecing together fragments of our shared history, of whispered legends I'd dismissed as mere fairy tales. Ezra, I breathe, my voice barely above a whisper. We'll break this curse. Together. The determination that surges through me is fierce, primal. I reach for his hand, intertwining our fingers. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. His golden eyes meet mine, a flicker of hope amidst the storm of his torment. Amara, you don't know what you're offering. I know exactly what I'm offering, I cut him off, my tone brooking no argument. My strength, my loyalty, my... I hesitate, the word love dying on my lips. Not yet, but soon. We press on, deeper into the writhing heart of the forest. The trees loom closer, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers. I can't shake the feeling we're being watched, hunted. Suddenly I freeze. There, caught on a thorny branch, a single strand of silver hair gleams in the moonlight. My blood runs cold. Ezra, I whisper, pointing. Look. He inhales sharply, his body tensing beside me. Cassandra, he growls, the name like poison on his tongue. A haunting melody drifts on the wind, so faint I almost believe I've imagined it, but the way Ezra's eyes narrow tells me it's all too real. She's here, I breathe, fighting the urge to flee, the silver enchantress herself. The forest seems to close in around us, shadows dancing at the edge of my vision. I've never felt so exposed, so vulnerable, yet, beneath the fear, a fierce resolve takes root. Whatever comes next, whatever nightmares Cassandra has in store, I know one thing with absolute certainty. I will stand by Ezra's side, until the bitter end. Ezra's golden eyes cloud over, his gaze fixed on some distant point beyond the tangled trees. The silence stretches heavy and oppressive, until I fear I might suffocate beneath its weight. The first time I encountered her, he begins, his voice a low, bitter rasp. I was young, arrogant. I thought myself invincible. A shudder runs through his powerful frame. I ache to reach out, to comfort him, but I dare not break the spell of his words. She appeared like a vision, all silver and starlight. I was enthralled. His lip curls in disgust. Before I knew it, her magic had seeped into my very bones. She bound me, cursed me to an eternity of solitude. The pain in his voice is raw, a festering wound laid bare. I watched as my pack, my family, forgot me, as if I'd never existed. My heart constricts. Without thinking, I reach out, my fingers brushing his arm. He starts at the contact, his haunted gaze snapping to mine. "You're not alone anymore," I whisper fiercely. "We'll break this curse, Ezra. Together." He stares at me, disbelief warring with a desperate hope in those molten eyes. "Amara, I may be new to this world," I continue emboldened, "but I know what I feel. Our bond, it's stronger than any curse." A ghost of a smile touches his lips. "You sound so certain." "I am," I insist, though doubt gnaws at the edges of my resolve. Am I truly strong enough to face a witch as powerful as Cassandra? But I push the fear aside. For Ezra, I have to be. The forest seems to hold its breath around us, the shadows retreating just a fraction. In this moment, with Ezra's warmth beneath my fingertips, I almost believe we're invincible. But the night is far from over, and Cassandra's melody still echoes in the distance, a grim reminder of the battle that lies ahead. I shiver as we retrace our steps through the forest, the trees looming closer with each passing moment. The air grows thick, heavy with an unseen presence that prickles the hair on the back of my neck. My newly heightened senses pick up every rustle, every whisper of wind through leaves, amplifying the eerie atmosphere. "The woods are watching us," I murmur, unable to shake the feeling of countless unseen eyes tracking our movements. Ezra's hand finds the small of my back, his touch both reassuring and electrifying. "Stay close," he breathes, his voice low and tense. The forest has grown restless since Cassandra's arrival. As if in response, a branch snaps beneath my feet, the sound echoing unnaturally loud in the stillness. I stumble, my heart racing, but Ezra's steady grip keeps me upright. "How did you bear it?" I ask, the words escaping before I can stop them. "All those years alone, with only these watchful woods for company?" His golden eyes darken, a storm of emotions swirling in their depths. "I didn't," he admits softly. "There were moments I thought I'd go mad. But the curse, it preserved me, even as it isolated me." We walk in silence for a moment, the weight of his words hanging between us. Then, as we near the edge of the pack's territory, Ezra's posture shifts. The vulnerable man recedes, replaced by the Alpha King, his mind already racing ahead to our next move. "We'll need to act swiftly," he says, his tone clipped and authoritative. "Cassandra won't waste time in pressing her advantage." I nod, trying to match his focus. "What's our first step?" "We gather our allies," Ezra replies, his gaze scanning the tree line. "The wolf packs to the north owe me a debt, and there's a coven of hedge witches in the eastern mountains who might be persuaded to aid us." My mind reels at the enormity of the task before us. "Do you really think we can stand against Cassandra and her dark magic?" Ezra turns to me, his expression fierce. "We must. The alternative is unthinkable." I swallow hard, fear and determination warring within me. "Then we'll face her together," I say, hoping my voice doesn't betray my doubt. "Whatever it takes." The clearing comes into view, a somber hush falling over the gathered pack, their eyes glowing eerily in the twilight, fix upon us with a mixture of hope and dread. I can smell their fear, acrid and thick, mingling with the forest's damp earth. Ezra strides forward, his presence electrifying the air. I follow in his wake, my heart thundering against my ribs. The pack parts before us like a dark sea, their whispers a haunting susurration. "My brothers and sisters," Ezra's voice rolls across the clearing, deep and commanding. "We face a threat unlike any we've known." I watch the pack's reactions, noting the trembling lips, the clenched fists. How many of them, I wonder, will flee when they learn the true nature of our enemy? Ezra continues, his words painting a grim picture of the danger we face. I find myself captivated by his voice, its cadence hypnotic. It's only when he turns to me, golden eyes blazing, that I realize it's my turn to speak. I step forward, willing my voice not to quaver. We've found evidence of dark magic, I say, the words tasting like ash on my tongue. Symbols of an ancient curse, one that seeks to destroy us all. A low growl ripples through the crowd. I press on, describing the clearing we discovered, the malevolent energy that pulsed through the earth. With each word, I feel the weight of their stares, judging, assessing. Do they see me as an ally, I wonder, or merely as the Alpha's newly turned mate? We must prepare, I conclude, my gaze sweeping across the assembly, for the battle ahead will test us all. As silence descends, I retreat to Ezra's side, my skin prickling with unease. Have I said enough? Too much? The pack's faces blur before me, a sea of doubt and fear. Ezra's hand finds mine, his touch grounding me. But even as I draw strength from him, a treacherous whisper echoes in my mind. Are we truly ready for what's to come? The forest whispers dark secrets as I stand in a moonlit clearing, my heart thundering in my chest. Ezra's voice cuts through the night, low and urgent. Focus, Amara. Channel the lunar energy. I close my eyes, reaching for that elusive power that dances just beyond my grasp. The air crackles with potential, but doubt gnaws at me. Am I truly capable of this? You're holding back, Ezra growls, circling me. Let go of your fear. My eyes snap open. Easy for you to say, I hiss. You've had centuries to master this. He stops, his gaze piercing. And you have a power that rivals the ancients. Trust yourself. I draw a shaky breath, extending my hand. The moonlight seems to bend, coalescing around my fingertips. For a moment, exhilaration floods me. Then it slips away, leaving me trembling and drained. I can't, I whisper. I'm not strong enough. Ezra's arms encircle me, his warmth a stark contrast to the chill of failure. You are, he murmurs. You just need to believe it. As I lean into him, a shadow of doubt flits across my mind. What if I'm not the savior they all expect me to be? But when I meet Ezra's eyes, I see a reflection of my own determination. Whatever darkness lies ahead, we'll face it together, even if it consumes us both.